Hey friends, it's Ruben with Hi-Fi MIDI. So last week I got the opportunity to join the Ample Sound team for NAMM 2019 in Anaheim, California, and it was a blast. I had such a great time there. It's gonna forever be on my memory. One of the reasons was because it was my first time at NAMM. I had the opportunity to go a few years ago when I was a teacher, a public school teacher. Now, but I didn't take it, and I want to kick myself for not doing that. Another reason is because Ample Sound is a company I highly respect. I've had their products for several years now and have grown to love them and have developed a relationship with them. So when I got the opportunity to go to NAMM and demonstrate their products, I jumped on it. I was excited. I felt nervous. I had all sorts of emotions, self-doubt, but I had so much fun and they had fun, and it was surreal meeting the team. I thought when I go over there, I'm going to ask them a ton of questions, and I did, and they answered all of them. I love the guys, and I think this is going to be a long friendship that we're going to have. So the reason for this video is because they came out with version 3.0. This is their major update to their interface. Right now, only the acoustic instruments have it, and they're working on one for the electric guitars and basses. But on the first day of NAMM, which was on a Wednesday, we set up and I started asking them all sorts of questions, and they started giving me some insight onto features of the products that I wasn't aware of. So if you've seen my other videos, I'm not going to cover everything, but I will cover the things that they talked to me about. So let's get started. So this is Ample Guitar Martin, their best-selling guitar, which it wasn't my favorite because I'm a Taylor guy, and I know some of you are going to boo me for that if you're a guitarist. I have a high level of respect for Martin now. This is their strum library. I'm going to go to the finger library. So we have a beautiful new interface here. One of my complaints about it was that I like seeing a little bit of information, a little bit of text information on what I'm looking at, rather than hovering over it and waiting for some more information. But they cleaned it up. Some people like that. I like the look of it. I just like having at least a few letters like SUS for sustain, or PM for palm mute, or NH for natural harmonic, and so on. But other people love this. And then we have some icons, some newer icons here. Everything looks refreshed and beautiful and neat, and I love it. And over here we have icons for our different modes. So we have instrument mode, or main, strummer, riffer, tab, effects, which is one of the new features I'm going to get into, sample editor, so you can go in and tune differently. And then you have your settings, which I found out are a lot more in depth. Then you have your libraries and your presets. So one of the things that I learned that was new was this icon right here called Capo Logic mode. Now you have two modes, melody and chord. The default is chord mode on previous libraries. So in chord mode, we see two buttons right here, or two dots. This represents the range of the human hand, or the average human hand. When you're playing, you have 4 notes, right? So let me start on E. That's the lowest note on this guitar, although it can tune down to a D. When I walk up the scale, it's going to stay within that range automatically. So that it's going to play a scale the way a human would do it, the way a guitarist would do it, I mean. Now, if I go outside of that, the hand position, or the capo position, is going to move. And everything's going to be within those 2 dots now. Now when I go down to the E again, it's going to move back. I had never noticed that, or I didn't really ask what that was for, and they pointed it out to me, and I thought it was brilliant. Now you can move this through key switching. So if, for example, if you press C#1, you're going to get some yellow buttons right here. And those are going to be your different capo positions. So I can move it. This is good for programming when you want it to be in a certain register. So melody position, it's going to widen that range. So if you're playing a solo, or it's not going to automatically jump to the next string. It's going to stick to that string. This is good, especially on their bass plugin, their acoustic bass, because when you're playing, when a bassist is playing a solo, I've been told, and they're playing on those high strings, you don't jump to the lower strings to play the high notes. You usually stick to the high string, and that was created to give it a more realistic sound. So on the guitar, this basically widens the range that you can play. I would use this melody mode on a bass and chord mode on a guitar. And then over here we just have our playing modes. So this is keyboard mode and solo mode. That's not new. Then open string first. This is something that, I mean, after they explained it to me, it made it so much more sense. When you press the open string button, even if you're in a certain position, so let's say position 7. Every time I play a note that can be played on an open string, it's going to default to that note, rather than sticking inside this range. So when I play a B right here on this G chord, it's going to play an open string. When I take it off, it plays this B. And these are all different samples. Now let's go to Strummer Mode. I've shown you Strummer Mode in different videos, so I'm not going to talk about everything here. But one of the cool things that I learned was that in Detect Mode, Detect Mode's been revamped. So let's turn that on. So when I play a chord, let's say C major, if I play that chord, it's going to show me the chord type right here. But then if I play, like, say an E, which is a third in that chord, I'm going to get that in my bass note. And it's going to stick to a C major as long as I don't play another chord. This is going to be especially good in chords where you're going to change inversions, like a G major. Let's hear it in strum mode, on strum library, because that's going to be a lot clearer. So you notice that when I pass C, it fills in the treble note. So now I have a sharp 4. It's a very creative feature. I have videos on Riffer, Guitar Tab. I'm not a tab player, but you can import tabs from like Guitar Pro, I think it's called, and it'll play it back to you. I really like the compression EQ, the effects section. Here's a compressor, and it gives you a visual of what it's doing. So let me get it out of Strummer mode. Oops. You can set your threshold. And up here, this red line shows you how much it's compressing it. And your ratio. So the lower this goes, the higher the ratio. It's very squashed. Forget where the gain was. Oh yeah, here it is. Gain matching. Auto gain. Let's hear that. And then we have a preset menu here. I've actually never opened this, but you can save. You can save your presets. Then you have your EQ. That's also going to show you what it's doing. Then your delay. Let's see if they have presets on this. And then your reverb. I'm going to turn off the delay. Now, one of the cool things that I discovered about this in my demonstration, well, I discovered how much I liked it, was the layering of certain articulations. So you can switch them like this, but if you press them together, they're going to latch on, and they're going to layer by velocity. So if I play softly, get palm mute, and then it starts opening up when you play louder. When you couple that with the stroke noise, you have an instrument that's very expressive and fun to play, that you can get to sound good just by playing chords. So these are a few of the features that I can remember. There was so much information given to me. And what I love about this is that it's simple enough to start using immediately and get some great sounds. But then if you want to delve into it, it has several layers of complexity and nuance that gives you more control over it. Anyway, friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, please subscribe for new videos and to stay up to date with the latest content. I will be releasing more tutorials on guitar and bass programming. I'm trying to come up with ideas So give this a thumbs up, leave a comment, share this video, and if you feel inclined to do so, support me on PayPal and Venmo. And the link is in the description. Thank you. Take care.